When it comes to choosing the best wristwatch, Rolex is definitely at the top of the list, wouldn't you agree? Given that there are watches available that are significantly better than Rolex in practically every aspect, what they have accomplished is nothing short of amazing. But we're now getting close to the point where Rolex only comes in second place and not number one. Has Rolex lost its charm? Keep watching to find out. Welcome back to Above First Class. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Imagine presenting someone with a list of all the ideas and innovations Rolex has made from its beginnings since the 1960s. Then you informed them that they were not only still in operation but also produced some of the most iconic timepieces. It is reasonable to think that the person you informed this would believe Rolex is still a leader in the industry and is developing cutting-edge technology. Wrong. In reality, watch lovers now nearly make fun of Rolex's lack of innovation. It is tough to be optimistic as to what Rolex is doing when they produce a new watch where the single thing that has been modified is the bracelet style. When Rolex graces the watch market with what we would consider the laziest watch releases in the business, it seems as though they expect us to bend the knee. Rolex once held a reputation as a pioneer in the field of horology innovation, and contributed a great deal to the development of this field, many of which we now overlook. Rolex asserts that the Oyster case was the first waterproof watch case. In addition, they claim that they developed the date window on watch dials and designed and patented the automated winding movement. Nearly all wristwatches on the market now have these features, at least where it makes perfect sense. Some of their discoveries and developments were so famous that we now refer to several watch components with the term Rolex. The victorious are those who write history. The amount of innovations and advancements made by Rolex in the field of horology is endless. The rapid progress they made is what propelled them into practically everyone's consciousness as the apex of luxury timepieces. There is much to be said for establishing a concept or technology, even though part of this could be viewed as marketing strategies. We don't intend to go into detail about Rolex's past or how they came to be where they are now. To claim, however, that their marketing and research and development departments knew precisely what they were doing would be an understatement. Indeed, Rolex has been a pioneer in the watchmaking industry for many years, and other watch companies try to follow their footsteps. Whenever it comes to a new release, almost each single watch brand will have a flop. You're bound to be let down when it comes to Rolex. Rolex is aware of this and surrounds its releases with gimmick makers. Sadly, the bloggers and the watch media are the ones hyping up these subpar releases. Among the few brands that doesn't give away watches for reviews or publicity does seem to be Rolex. The majority of reviews of their watches comes from writers who were able to purchase one. This is strange given the cost of a Rolex. No matter how well known your brand is, the majority of customers will Google your timepieces to examine images, check out specifications, and read unbiased reviews. The perfect place to do this is still on blogs. The review is already biased if a writer's only means of access is through the purchase of a watch. They definitely enjoy it because they bought it. Being critical in important ways is impossible. This has the terrible side effect of creating a Rolex hype train online community. Since Rolex doesn't have to provide review samples, it is simple to make the claim that they are not required to. What's the use of having someone review the watches when they are in such high demand? We may somewhat agree with that statement, but we don't think it completely captures the situation. If that's the scenario, Rolex may just update their website with the new designs and let customers explore them independently before going bonkers trying to obtain one. Having media sources discuss your products is valuable, regardless of how out of stock they are. These timepieces are so sought after that you frequently require a link or a long history of purchases to be able to leave with the Rolex of your choosing. As a result, many people have purchased timepieces without wanting to build a purchase history. For a company that produces some of the world's most highly regarded watches, they are either purposefully limiting the supply, or, for lack of a better word, its supply chain manager is a fool. According to Rolex, limiting the supply is not a strategy they are currently using. Additionally, they made no reference to any efforts being made to enhance supply in order to promote watch sales. That's clearly something a business with a popular product would like to do, you know. Having said that, I doubt any company would purposefully limit their supply. Whatever the cause, it has left many people with a negative impression. There is no denying that the discontent is apparent. Many people purchase a Rolex as a pinnacle brand to commemorate a success or significant milestone in their lives. Imagine the disappointment if you went into a dealer to buy one to commemorate your significant career promotion and you weren't aware of the supply problem. You had high hopes, you saved the cash to invest in something you thought would bring you happiness, and now you have nothing. To sell their watches, Rolex does not have to woo the media. Prior to being built on a watchmaker's workstation, a Rolex is sold. But does that mean putting an end to innovation? Of course not. The future of Rolex will be affected by two things. As a result of the innovations made by its rivals, Rolex will lose its technological edge. Regardless of technology, if you're not doing anything about it, then you're just moving backwards. And another, though less possible in the short run, is that Rolex will become so out of reach that customers would turn to other brands. There are plenty of watch companies from which to choose for your next diving watch. Their individual movements have seen some technological advancements, mostly to improve precision, anti-magnetic qualities, and power reserve. But practically nearly every single watch company in the world does that, and they all do almost as good as Rolex. Why is Rolex the only company not making a move to expand supply if they are really experiencing a scarcity and don't want to lose their quality to do so? There is a distinction between finding it challenging to scale production and showing no interest in doing something about it. If Rolex can break the silence and tell us that their strategy is not to make their items scarce, then they can surely inform their fans and customers what they are doing to lessen that. The brand should do more to get such sought-after watches into the hands of trustworthy dealers if the goal is to end scarcity, as too many are winding up in the gray market with ridiculous markups. Overall, Rolex doesn't deserve the spotlight and a place in the throne anymore. When compared to the finer watchmakers who came before them and genuinely innovated their brand, Rolex just didn't make the cut. A company that is a leader in its field does not release watches that do nothing except prolong the waitlists for people who simply want to purchase a high-quality watch. In any field, people who are at the top of their game should serve as role models for those who are just starting out. Who wouldn't want a Rolex, right? But by making a product that people crave for so deeply that they are willing and able to pay double for the price, Rolex believes that their current success will last for decades into the future. Hopefully, Rolex keeps in mind who originally purchased their timepieces and why they continue to buy them. People who would spend a month's income on one of their watches helped them establish their name. We must encourage Rolex to hit the restart button in order for them to succeed. Rolex must have some brilliant talents, and those people ought to be put to good use in reviving the company's golden age when it produced watches and components for watches that were well known in the watch world. What do you guys think? Is it time to rethink purchasing a Rolex? Please let us know in the comments section below, and if you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.